Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you. You're watching Encounter. And today is part 2 on Feng Shui, because the first episode was not long enough to give you more details about Feng Shui. So for this very reason, we still have Mrs. Sunassee with us in the studio. And thank you for still being here to explain more about Feng Shui.
My pleasure, Roshan.
So we'll just have a quick recap about the first episode. We gave a broad definition of what is Feng Shui and the different aspects. We spoke about health, the birth chart. We spoke about love, marriage, and the flying stars. Yes. In this episode, I would like to ask you, there are different types of concepts of Feng Shui.
There is only one genuine Feng Shui, the classical one. But like I said previously, people have tried to dilute the classics by making it like easy to understand, you know, for those in the Western part of the world. So what they did is, while the classic Feng Shui is based on the specific direction of a site, what they did is they tell people that all houses face north.
Yes.
Okay, so basically they say all houses face north. So north is for career, southeast is for wealth, south is for love and recognition. All these 8 aspects that we talked about, they say specifically here, it is there in your house is facing north. They don't use any compass at all. This is complete rubbish. Not all houses face north.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Is it why you said in the previous episode that you have your Feng Shui compass?
Compass, exactly. You cannot do classical Feng Shui without a compass. Okay, so I am a trained Feng Shui consultant, so I use the Lopan. Now, my students, they don't have the Lopan. It's a very expensive tool. So I say you use a compass, a good compass, or even you try to use the one on your phone. It won't give you accurately the magnetic direction, but it would tell you whether your house is facing southeast, northeast, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So basic difference is this. Classical Feng Shui uses the exact direction that the house is facing. The other type of Feng Shui tells people that your house faces north. Okay.
So a house can be located anywhere and Feng Shui will just sort it out?
Absolutely, because we cannot have houses facing all the same directions. Now, in classical Feng Shui, every direction is divided into 45 degrees. So the north occupies 45 degrees on the compass. Now, within the 45 degrees, you have what we call North 1, North 2, North 3. 15, 15, 15 degrees.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, 15. Yeah. Now, when I am taking the direction with my Feng Shui compass, with my Lopan, I get the exact degree that the building is facing. And this exact degree will give me the right formula of flying stars to apply on that particular house. A North 1 facing house will have a different flying star chart from a North 2 and a North 3 house. And why is this important when we are doing a Feng Shui audit? Is because then we would know where are the wealth stars and where is the good health and relationship star. These are the 2 major things that we look in a house to be able to make this house prosperous.
That sounds very interesting, because at the end of the day, you cannot have the same, as we mentioned earlier, you cannot have the same thing, the same structure for every house in a country.
No, you cannot, no.
So what you do is you locate where are the strength and where is the wealth.
Yes.
So you tune it to that wealth, and you try to reduce the weaknesses.
Exactly. So you have understood it very quickly. So we look at the 9 flying stars in the space. We see, I see in the house, say the wealth star is in the front, okay? And the person has put a kitchen in the front. Is pressing down on the wealth. If the wealth is at the back and the toilet is at the back, just where the spot of the wealth star is, so
that's not good.
It's flushing away the wealth, so you would understand what is happening.
What part of the house would you put for the wealth?
Now,
is that a bedroom or a living room?
The living room.
The living room.
The living room.
Okay.
Yes, the TV room. Places where you sit as a family, places where you can activate with a fountain. Now, water, we didn't speak about the activators. We talked about Feng Shui, meaning wind and water. Water is very important in Feng Shui. We use water to activate wealth energy.
Is it why many people have ponds and running water?
Yes, but hopefully they have put it in the right direction. Because water, you have to put water in the right direction.
Okay.
If you go according to the astrological wheel, the only safe place to put water is the north, because the north is associated already with water. Then east and southeast. East and southeast are directions which are associated with the element of wood. Okay. And I said water produces wood. So when you put water in the east and southeast, it enhances these directions. Okay? If you put water in the south, what would happen? South is related to the energy of fire. Yep. Water puts out the fire. Yes. So if you put water in the south, it means that you don't have recognition in your work.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier, this is very intriguing to me. You mentioned about flying star and a formula.
Yes.
Can you explain a bit what's flying star and formula,
flying
if it's not formula. Too much detail?
Flying star formula, okay?
Okay.
Yes, so the flying star formula is when you look at the direction of a house, okay, it says that it is facing north 1, okay? I have to know in which year the building was built and completed. Before I generate the flying star chart, I need to know first the direction that it is facing. Then I need to know when was the house built and occupied. Was it in between 2004 and 2024? Then it is a period 8 house. Then we have specific flying stars for this period 8 chart. If the house was built in 1985, for example, it is a period 7 house. If it was built well before that, 20 years before that, it is a period 6 chart.
All right, so question, you mentioned that as from 2024, we'll get into period 9. So if I'm thinking of constructing in 2024?
Yes, your house will be period 9 house.
So the construction, the concept of it will be affected by the
different formula. Different formula for period 9. So period 8, let's talk about period 8, okay? In period 8, what we are looking for is where is the wealth star 8 and where is the health and relationship star 8. These are two. One is called the water star and one is called the mountain star. Okay? So this is what we look for actually.
Okay.
But once we go beyond 2024, we will be looking for water star 9 and mountain star 9 to ensure that the house has prosperity and good relationship luck and health luck.
Another question now.
Yes.
So let's say you're building in 2024, it will be period 9.
Yes.
And the house will stay for more than 20 years.
20
so do you also have to make provisions for period 10 when it comes?
No, we will only take account of the period 9 flying stars when we come to period 9. So if you build your house in 2023, but you complete it and go there and inhabit the house in 2024, it will then be a period 9 house. If you stay in the house before the change of period, it stays a period 8 house.
Okay, okay.
Okay, now, you may be living in a house where the flying stars are all set for period 8, and we already know what are the flying stars for period 9, okay? And we see that my front door will have a better star, better wealth in period 9. Okay, so what do I do? How do I change my house from a period 8 to a period 9? This can be done. It can be done, but you have to change 3 things. You have to change the main door of your house. Remove it, throw it out, and put a new door. It means that you are changing the earth luck of the house. That's one thing. Then you have to change the roof, part of the roof of the house. You open the roof and you let new energy come in. You're changing the heaven luck. Okay. Then you change part of the flooring. 3 things to do. Change the roof, change the main door, and change part of the flooring, and you get a new energy coming in. But you have to do it in period 9.
All right, before we have gotten quite deep into the conversation, but before we keep on moving further, We'll invite our viewers to watch the following report on Feng Shui. We'll be back shortly. The practice of Feng Shui started over 4,000 years ago in China. Ever since, it has evolved and taken on different perspectives and ideas. There are many subgroups of Feng Shui teachings, but they predominantly are grouped into traditional or classical and modern disciplines. All forms of Feng Shui have the same foundations at the base, including balance of yin and yang, flow of qi, and the 5 natural elements, which are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Form School, the earliest version of Feng Shui, seeks to locate the best building site, evaluates the topography of the land through site analysis, and taps into the natural energy of the site. Compass School incorporates aspects of time and space. Using precise calculations of direction, building faces, occupants' birth dates, and the year of building's construction, the practitioner can then provide individualized recommendations. 8 Mansions is a subset of Compass School to help determine the best layout of interior spaces. Modern Feng Shui was introduced to the West in the 1980s. Feng Shui is therefore an ancient Chinese art and metaphysical science of harnessing the energy of heaven and earth to bring health, wealth, and good fortune by tuning in to the environment, seasonal changes, and vibrations of nature. Feng Shui prescribes the way of living in a state of harmony and balance with the physical environment and the intangible energy in order to enjoy good fortune. A good practice of Feng Shui in our residence or workplace will help to create a harmonious, healthy, and prosperous environment. The correct placement of symbols can make an enormous difference in our life. They can improve our love life, career, health, and make things go our way. Feng Shui does not claim to bring overnight success or to win the lottery. However, it can definitely enhance good fortune, and just it can mitigate misfortune. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You're still watching Encounter, and we are still discussing Feng Shui with Mrs. Sunassee. Thank you for still being here.
Thank you.
When we talk about Feng Shui, you mentioned a lot about directions, and we know there are 8 directions.
Yes.
And you did mention in the first episode the 8 mansions.
Yes.
Can we talk a bit about the eight mansions and why is it so important?
Yes, absolutely. This is, in fact, a very simple method of Feng Shui, okay, that anyone can learn and apply in the house. You don't need a consultant actually to come to your place, okay? So what is 8 mansions? 8 mansions is based on the date of birth of the person first, okay?
Which we spoke about in the first episode.
So what do we do is, how do we determine what are the good directions I talked about and the bad directions of a person? We take the year of birth of a person. If it is there is a difference between the calculation for male and female. Okay, so for a person born, say, in 1959, okay, 59. Let's take myself.
All right.
Female born in 59. Okay. 5 plus 9.
14.
14. 1 plus 4.
5.
5. Okay. So then you take 5 for a female. 5. You add the number 5. You get 5 plus 5. The formula is you add up the date, the 2 last numbers until you get a single digit.
Of course.
Then you add 5 to it. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So my number is number 1. So for the calculation defines people into 2 groups, East group and West group person. Number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 9, Kua number, we call it a Kua number. The calculation of these lucky numbers is called Kua number. Number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 9 gives you East group persons. So number 2, number 2, number 6, number 7, and number 8 are West group persons.
All right. Just to make that easier for our viewers, so if 2 people are born in the same year, one is a man, one is a woman, so you have a different reading for a different formula for men and women.
Yes.
And even for men and women also, they will both either fall in East or West.
Or West,
all right.
exactly.
All right,
okay?
Moving on.
So if you are an East group person, it means that the directions North, South, east and southeast are good for you. It represents your wealth, it represents your health, it represents love, and it represents your personal growth, stability. Now, the 4 bad directions, if you are east group, obviously all the west groups do not suit you.
Of course.
Okay? And what do the bad directions represent? It represents that you have misfortune, you have bad health, you have total loss and bad luck. So you avoid using these directions. And it's the same if you are west. All the west groups are good for you and all east are bad for you.
Okay.
Okay? So this is where it's a bit different from what all the Hindus, because I deal with many Hindu people, we have to sleep with our head towards the east, where the sun rises.
Yeah.
Where the sun rises, okay? But in Feng Shui, no. If you are a west group person, east won't be good for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. So there's not a general rule for everyone.
It's not. So it is very specific to the person. So sleeping direction is very important. Where do you sit at work? What direction are you facing? Where is your laptop in front of you? Okay? It's very easy. Once you know, like east is good for me and I am looking at northeast. Northeast is a west direction. Okay? So all you have to do is just to, turn your laptop a little bit so that you are facing your good direction. It makes a whole lot of difference in your luck when you face one of your good directions. These good directions, they must be used properly. They must be used with activities which enhances their good benefits.
Okay.
Okay? Bedroom is good.
The living room is good.
Living room is good. Whereas the bad directions, we all have good and bad directions. Huh? Even when I do the Feng Shui audit from scratch, we have good and bad directions.
Okay.
So how do we deal with bad directions? We suppress them with the kitchen, with the toilet, with storage rooms, with big tall furniture. So we have to know where they are located. So where are they located? Again, we come back to what direction is my house facing.
Okay.
And in Mauritius, we have many houses where the door is facing, main door is probably looking this way, but the house actually, the facade of the house is this way.
Okay.
How main door is here, facade is here. So not many people would know how to deal with this.
Okay. Now let's talk about financial prosperity and career. Where does Feng Shui fit in all this?
Yeah. Okay. So the north is associated with career luck. Okay. So the north of your house has to be a proper space where there is no clutter. Clutter is a big, big problem here in Mauritius, I have noted.
Decluttering is very important.
Decluttering is very important. It is very important that people understand that you do not keep things, even if they have a sentimental value from your great-grandparents, okay, passed on from generation to generation. But if it is of no use to you, if it is like, like a clutter there, get rid of it. If it is broken, if it is damaged, get rid of it. The north sector for career is very important. You sit in the north facing your good direction. Make sure that you are facing your good direction. Now, while facing your good direction, you also have to see what is behind your back. Okay. You don't sit with your back against a door. You don't sit with your back against a window, against a river behind you, because all these are missed opportunities that can come to you. Okay. It's very important that while using a space, you also look at how you are seated. Very important. So Feng Shui is broad-based. It's just not putting the rooms in their right sectors, but also ensuring that the person is sitting appropriately without any Feng Shui taboos or without any poison arrows shooting at you. You do not sit or sleep in a bedroom where you can see a high telecom tower.
Last question before we wrap up this second interview. Time just flies. You mentioned that many people come to see you for marriage.
Yes.
Is it marriage when they have already met someone and how they go forward, or is it because, they want to meet someone, how can I better my chances?
Yes. Both.
Both?
Both.
Okay.
So you have reached, say, 30, 35, and you still have not met Mr. or Mrs. Right. So
All
you
right.
come to me, first thing I check your birth chart.
Okay.
Okay? Because in our birth chart, we can identify what element in our chart represents boyfriend, what element represents husband or wife. Okay?
Okay.
Just to give you an example, for a man, his wealth element is also the wife element. For a woman, the power element is the husband element.
That makes sense.
In its yin and yang form. So I would check first in the chart, has the element already appeared in the luck cycle, or is it coming, and when is it coming? And I have seen cases where people have gone through their wife or husband element at the age of, say, 15, 20, where they were too young. You know, they didn't meet the person, they were too young, they did not go through with it. So what do we do now? The opportunity has gone according to their luck cycle, but the element comes every year, every month.
Okay.
You have this element, so I advise what to do.
Okay.
So how do you do? How do you sleep in your love direction? You put love activators next to you. Love activators like mandarin ducks. It's a pair of rose quartz mandarin ducks. There are many, but you always put things in pair. When you want to get married, it's pair.
Yeah.
So you put things in pair. So these are the kind of advice. Sleep in your love direction. Because remember I told you under the 8 mentions,
Yes.
each one you have 4 good directions. Make sure you sleep in a good direction.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if things are not working out, you have met someone and he's not ready to get married. Okay? So again, we look at the birth chart. Maybe there's no marriage luck yet. You have to wait. You have to activate the marriage luck. Sometimes it's better not to get married when it's not the right time.
All right. Yeah, you did mention the first recording that everything is a cycle and
It's a
everything is
cycle.
about a timing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because whatever something goes away, it also comes
It
up.
comes back.
Just like money.
Yes.
It goes out,
money
it
has
comes
to,
in.
Money is energy. It has to turn around.
I'm sure we have so much more. I'm sure if we do a third, fourth recording, we will still not finish talking about Feng Shui. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of this second recording. But before we leave, Mrs. Sunassee, can you please, any last words before?
Well, Feng Shui has many benefits. Feng Shui can improve your life. Just come and learn about it. You can read about it on the internet, but I must say about maybe 60% of it is, false Feng Shui.
Okay.
Come and learn from genuine masters and grandmasters.
Or just read from the International Feng Shui Association website.
And books written by grandmasters.
Okay, because then we know the source is genuine.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much. You would advise everyone to try Feng Shui at least once in their life?
Of course, of course.
Well, thank you very much for your time and all the best going forward. I'm sure the viewers, as well as myself, we have all enjoyed all you have shared over the past 2 episodes. A request to all our viewers is if you have any queries, drop an email. It's encounter@mbc.itnet.mu. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Until the very next program, goodbye.